Who's that?
I don't know, it's a bit late though, isn't it? Hi, Mum, Connie.
I just had to come round.
What's up?
I'm sorry if I woke. I didn't mean to.
Kath, what's happened?
You mean you haven't heard?
What?
It's Donna. She's dead. She's taken an overdose. She's dead.
Look, Donna meant nothing to you. You could have done nothing to keep her at your age. She was lucky, Kath. She got adopted by decent, caring people. I mean, you met them, you saw them. She had her chances, but she wanted to come here to make trouble. She had bad blood in her.
I don't believe in bad blood. How could I when some of it's mine?
Kath, now stop it. You ain't doing yourself any good.
I haven't said a kind word to her in months, so if I had...
Look, Donna died of drugs, in spite of everybody around here doing what they could do to help her.
I didn't do nothing to help her.
Why should you? With all the trouble she's caused. And you got enough of your plate with that trial coming up and all.
I got the letter today with the date and... hardly seems to matter anymore.
Who is it?
Kathy. I saw your light was on and I just had to come and see you. If you're driving me on your own, I'll go.
No, please sit down. I'd be glad of the company. Shows respect. I mean, I could hardly go to the mortuary, you know, it would have been an intrusion. So I decided to stay up all night. I lit some candles for her, because I thought it seemed the right thing to do. I was reading about Elisha giving the Shumanite son the kiss of life. It's funny, that. It's just where I opened it.
Sorry.
On Mount Carmel. That lot of use she was. All she did was call the doctors. I could have done that myself. Now, if she'd come round here like she promised. And he went and he stretched himself upon the child. And he put his mouth on his mouth. And he put his eyes on his eyes and his hands on his hands. And he stretched himself out on the child. And the flesh of the child waxed warm. I would have done that, Kath. But it was too late. She'd been gone too long when I found her.
Was it very bad, Doc?
Oh, yes. That's why I've got to find some meaning. I mean, why should a young girl like that take stuff that's going to kill her? I mean, I tried to look after her, Kath. Maybe I done wrong. Like I done with my own boy. I didn't mean to spoil him either.
You were really good to her, Doc. You're the only one out of all of us who was.
Yeah, but it didn't seem to be kindness that was needed, does it? I mean, if I hadn't taken her in, she might have had to do something for herself. I mean, you've got to go to the bottom of the pit before you can start to climb up, ain't you? I mean, all I did was help her get the money to buy that filthy stuff. I mean, she had to gone home to her parents.
How can you think it was your fault?
Well, we're all responsible for each other, Kath. I mean, I know people think I'm a nosy old busybody, but I've always been aware of that.
If anyone should have helped Donna, it was me. And I turned her away. She was my daughter, Doc. I gave birth to her. I was only a kid myself at the time. And I had her adopted. There were other reasons and all. Every time I looked at her, it reminded me of what happened all those years ago. I thought I was doing the right thing, put my own family first. It seemed so much clearer then. Now look at me. I'm alone, and I ain't got a family anymore. And Donna's dead.
I see. All falls into place. So I see you one day in the wine bar with the lad closed, and I thought to myself, that's funny. And then tonight she said, well, I don't see that changes anything, Kath. I mean, she was what she was. I mean, you'd have had to be a saint. Take her into your home.
I did try, Doc. But I'd always feel myself going all cold inside. I couldn't help it. I'd have been kinder to a stranger than I was to her.
Yeah, well, you're no more at fault than the rest of us. In my opinion, it was Rod what left, you know, that was the last straw. You know, going off with them girls just when she was starting to trust him. But, I mean, that's men all over, ain't it? Still, It's the mum and dad that brought her up we got to think about. Oh, I dread to think of what they're going through.
To think we heard the sirens, we just slept right through it. We never give it another thought.
I don't suppose there's much we could have done if we had.
Well, there might have been. Poor Dot. I better go over and see her straight away. Don't know what I'm going to say to her, though, especially after all those nasty things I said about that girl.
You meant it for the best, love.
Well, she's out at the police station now, but she's all right, though. She's taking it a lot better than you might think.
Why don't you have a cup of tea, Kath? You could look completely done in yourself.
No, thanks. I thought I should just come round and tell you anyway. I'm sorry it's been so difficult since me and Pete split, but you've always been straight with me.
We've tried not to take sides.
I know I don't need to ask you this, but I'd be grateful if you didn't ever tell us all about me and Donna.
Oh, what do you think we are? Anyway, I'll tell you one thing. If Dot's got it out of her, it'll be all round the square, whether you like it or not.
Well, she said she'd already guessed, but she swears she won't say anything.
Yeah, but it won't come from us. I've got enough problems of my own to worry about without gossiping about you. Now, come on, Martin. I've got to get him off to nursery school. Come on, darling. Off you go. I expect I'll see you around later. Arthur, there's stew in the pot for your tea, all right?
Oh, thanks, love, dear. Ta-da, then. Ta-da, darling.
I kept meaning to come round and see you a bit more often, but you know how it is.
Oh, come on. Come and sit down, Kath. You look as white as a sheet.
I didn't sleep a wink last night.
Oh, dear. Well, how's the new flat going? Is it all right?
Yeah.
If you've got any little jobs you want doing and you don't want to ask Pete, you can always come to me, you know. We've never had any quarrel, Kath, not me and you. And no matter what happens between you and Pete, you can always count on me as a friend.
Thanks, Arthur. You're a good bloke, you know. You and Pauline would never have done what I did. I mean, Pauline would never have given her baby away. I mean, look how she insisted on having Martin, no matter what Mum said or how poor you were.
Now, that's completely different and you know it. Now, come on, Kath, there's no point in talking like that. It doesn't do any good. She died because she took drugs, and it seems to me a lot of kids from all sorts of backgrounds are doing that these days, and you can't tell me that they all come from broken homes, and you can't hold me and Pauline up as an example either. Look at Mark. I tell you, the only thing that gets me through sometimes is thinking of Martin and young Vicky. And I don't care how I do it, but I'm going to see that they profit by our mistakes. The same things ain't going to happen to them.
I told him straight what a little cow I thought she was. I mean, what's the point of pretending you feel something when you don't? I don't see what all the fuss is about, do you?
It's always a shock when someone you know dies, especially like that.
Yeah, but she could always get round him. He swears they never did anything, but I don't know. There was something going on. I can't put my finger on it, but she could always get round him. I reckon they did.
It's all in the past now, Cindy. It hardly matters anymore.
Yeah, but don't you worry. I'll get it out of him. If we're going to be married, we're having no secrets. We had a row the other day because he wouldn't tell me how much money he had in the building society. I mean, if there's one thing that's going to ruin any relationship, it's having stupid secrets.
I just remember something I've got to do.
I don't know what's wrong with everyone today. I mean, we can't bring it back, can we?
Thought I was hard, but next to you, I'm just practicing.
Hey, what have you been saying to Kathy?
I ain't said nothing.
Well, perhaps you ain't feeling so good. Seems taking a bit hard you going on about Donna like that.
Well, why should it upset Kathy more than anyone else? He is just as bad moaning on. I mean, it's not as if she was a relative or something, is it?
Oh, Mrs. Beale. I was looking for you. They said you'd closed your store.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Perhaps there was somewhere we could talk. My wife's under sedation at the moment, I'm afraid, and I wanted to thank Mrs. Cotton. From what I hear, she's been very good to my daughter these days.
Kathy! Kathy! Kathy, it's all right, Kathy!
Go on, then. You go in there and sit down. There's a good girl. Here, Kath. Dry your eyes.